Early in my ministry, I had a really rough summer of just pain and brokenness. I was a summer camp counselor, and we had to make multiple calls that week for Child Protective Services for reports of abuse. And I had to make multiple calls in my church for abuse. And my grandmother was diagnosed with colon cancer. It was a lot, all compacted into just a couple of months. And then our clergy gathered in the fall for our regular meeting. 400 plus clergy gathered for worship and for learning. And in one of the times of worship, I was seated on the floor in the back of a giant conference banquet hall. And it was worship time. And I was in tears. I was in tears because of all the things I had felt that summer, all the losses, all the brokenness, all the fear about my grandmother, my worry about the children that I had reported on, and the tears just came and came and came. It was a shared time of worship, and there was communion, and because there were so many in worship, we had stations in the back, so people were coming past me. I wasn't serving, but I was near a server. And my senior pastor noticed me, or others noticed me, and told him, and he came to me and checked on me, and I wasn't ready to talk in that moment. And then later, he approached me and told me that I was selfish for crying in the midst of worship. How dare I cry in front of all of these colleagues, in front of the superintendents, and indeed in front of the bishop? He was mortified. I'm not exactly sure why, but I remember that reprimand. I remember that pain, and I remember being stunned at his disdain for my tears in worship. Because for me, worship is supposed to be a safe place. Indeed, worship was a safe place. That's why I was able to let down my guard and to cry freely. And that moment is stuck with me for almost 20 years. And I think about the countless people that I've seen cry in worship, generally in the sanctuary, but also out here at Omi Gardens and in countless other places. And they often are apologetic. I'm sorry I was crying. I'm sorry I couldn't keep it together. Or others who say, I just couldn't go to worship because I knew I would fall apart. And friends, my hope is that we all feel safe in the sanctuary space, that none of us receives a rebuke like the one I did, that we know that we are safe with our brothers and sisters in the faith, that we can be loved and affirmed and held even in the midst of our deepest pain. Dear ones, wherever you are, however you find yourselves, I pray that you find safe space in the midst of worship, and that if you have tears, that they might flow freely so that you might experience that release. Take care.